All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Hey everybody, I am DJ Dank. I'm joined here by
Andrew Roberts.
And we're here with Film Feud, where two guys who go and spend their own money go see a movie separately and come back to discuss. And so we decided this week we would celebrate the end of the summer blockbuster action season with Riddick, starring Vin Diesel. Exactly. And it's kind of interesting because this is the third in the series of Riddick movies, and all of them have been produced by Vin Diesel. It's evidently his choice of sci-fi vehicle to promote himself. So as this one goes, I mean, come on, people, you know if you're in the audience for this or not. Either you want to see Riddick or you don't want to go see it. If you go see it, yeah, you'll have a reasonably good time. I didn't hate the movie. It was kind of interesting. It's kind of like a space opera western. And kind of the first part's kind of like I don't know, some kind of black stallion with CGI. Then it kind of moves into like the sheriff moving into town with the bounty hunters, and then it turns into alien monsters killing the people in the city.
Black Stallion? What's a Black Stallion?
Well, you know that whole thing where it's Riddick and his dog bonding with no.
Yeah,
they were like
they did bring puppies into the movie. I think he
CGI puppies.
He's trying to soften his image, and he's stealing ideas from YouTube.
Me? Oh, him?
No, he is.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, of course. I mean, the thing is there's not an original idea in the movie. That's not really the point of Riddick. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much to be kind of like a sci-fi space opera western thing. And, I mean, on the plus side, it does have Carl Urban and Katie Sackhoff, who is from the Battlestar Galactica series. And so that's always good. And she does show one breast.
Is that the blonde?
The blonde, yeah. She does. Remember, she shows one breast.
That's a substantial breast.
Well, hey, it took up a big part of the screen. I mean, you know, I'll give it that. But and it was kind of a gratuitous breast. I was kind of surprised.
It was a CGI breast. Everybody.
It was a reflective breast. But anyway, you know, it is what it is. You know, if you're going to like it, don't expect much, and you might enjoy it a lot more.
I fell asleep halfway through it.
There you go.
That's how good it was. I think it's definitely, if we're going to talk about demographics, I'm picturing an adolescent, post-adolescent male in his basement of his mum's house.
Watching it on his computer?
Yep, there you go. It's definitely a made-for-video game movie. I'm not sure if the movie really will stand up to the video game as much.
Well, you know, and I kind of enjoyed the previous Riddick movies. There was the Chronicles of Riddick, I guess 2005, and then of course the first movie of that series was Pitch Black. All of them done by David Twohy.
Australians in it.
Well, then there you go. That already makes it better, huh?
Yeah, because that's what people think of Australians, that we're all like from some distant planet with no
you're
sun.
You're all from Mad Max land, aren't you?
Yes, actually.
Don't you ride around in your created cars, killing each other for gas?
That was great casting Mel Gibson as Mad Max.
Really? Why so?
Yeah, because he's fucking insane.
Oh.
There we go.
You know, I've always had a thing for Mel Gibson because, I mean, he's had like his great early career with You're Living Dangerously and all that. And then, I mean, you know, sure, he went cuckoo, but fame corrupts absolutely like everything else does.
I think that's
so you become famous and you go cuckoo. And, I mean, you know, Tom Cruise, Jodie Foster, all these people, they have their time to go cuckoo. They shoot them full of drugs, get them off, they go, you know, correct them and everything. It's kind of Westworld.
Put him in a corner.
Yeah, just put him in the corner to kind of get out, and then they bring him back out. But the thing about, also, I will say, since we're talking about action films, Mel Gibson made one of my favorite action films of all time, and that is Apocalypto, which is a rocking action film.
What about Braveheart?
Braveheart's okay.
Braveheart was amazing.
Okay.
There we go.
Straight dude review.
It had one of my favourite pickup lines of all time in it, and that is, "You remind me of my granddaughter."
That's just called Thursday Night at the End Up, I think.
In the English form.
So, you know, and so do you have anything else to say?
No, not on Riddick, but did you have anything else to say on Riddick?
I was going to move on because we've already spent enough time, you know, if you want to see it, you know.
Was it good for the Chinese market?
Well, considering that, like, in the first 40 minutes of the movie, like 5 words are said, yeah.
Yeah. It's lights
and that goes into our next thing where we're talking about how, like, as Hollywood has expanded its market, it used to be a movie would open up in the U.S. for a month or two before it would ever show in another country. And now it's vice versa. Sometimes things will open up in Europe first. Sometimes it all opens up on the same day all around the world. And so we're getting like domestic grosses instead of simply national grosses. So all of a sudden the market's different. So they want to make movies that have less English so they can sell it to more people in other countries and not have to make a lot of changes. edges to it.
Yeah, you can
and I think that's very evident when you look at some of the movies of the summer. I'll go through a list of some of the summer blockbuster movies that came out since May. It didn't mean they busted any blocks, but they intended to. Lone Ranger. Yeah,
man, I'm so glad that got raped by Despicable Me.
There is a curse for that story. No Lone Ranger movie has ever succeeded. So there's something about
I was hoping that was directed by Tim Burton, but unfortunately it's not.
No, it's a Gore Verbinski guy.
Yeah. He actually did Waterworld as well.
No, that was Kevin Reynolds.
Oh, shit.
Nice try. So, anyway, other action films that came out here. I'll just go through the list real quick. Wolverine, Red 2, R.I.P.D. We all saw that one. Iron Man 3, Fast and Furious 6, After Earth, This Is the End, World War Z, Two Guns, Percy Jackson, Elysium, Kick-Ass 2, The Getaway, and and Pacific Rim, which I'm sure I'm leaving out several.
Pacific
I feel so
Rim.
much smarter.
I know. But that's all that's harassed us over the last 3 or 4 months. Do you see any high points or low points?
I thought Man of Steel was okay. I was
Man
actually surprised to see how well Star Trek Into Darkness
Yep.
did. I do think that we are entering the dawn of the nerd.
Well,
it's a new era.
It's I don't know about dawn. I would say it's midday at this point. But
Put your sunscreen on.
yeah, they've been around for a while. The nerds have ruled the box office, but and the one thing I didn't get was really how the critics all came down on Guillermo del Toro with Pacific Rim. I know you didn't like it so much,
I hate Pacific
but I
Rim.
liked it. I just ignored the plot. And I ignored the characters, and I just watched the action sequences like you're supposed to. You wait later on and watch Guillermo del Toro's audio commentary where he explains wherever nerd character came from and what manga it came from and what page, and then you'll go, oh, okay, that makes more sense. But until then, those scientist characters, I wish they had gotten killed. But the action with the monsters was awesome.
I thought it made me want to vomit. And an American and a Japanese person hand in hand delivering a nuclear payload. What kind of backtracking?
What kind of revisionism? What kind of revisionism is that?
It's just
doing
rubbish.
it together and holding hands, falling in love,
It looked like a bunch of
causing Armageddon.
That's what it was. It looked like a bunch of retards inside a tin can doing Tai Bo.
Right.
It was just ridiculous. Absolute trash.
Well,
I will.
So you like Man of Steel? What else did you like?
I like Man of Steel. Iron Man 3 was the perfect male fantasy.
No, Iron Man 3 was fun.
He's actual human. He's intelligent, and then he's got this woman who just idolizes him and does whatever she says.
Yeah, normal stuff.
It was. I think there's a point where a comic book movie becomes male porn. If you can jerk off to it, it's porn.
Oh, okay.
And that's how I felt about Iron Man.
I feel that way about most George Clooney or
The Lone Ranger.
was George Clooney in Lone Ranger?
Did you like Olympus Has Fallen?
I did like Olympus Has Fallen. I liked any movie where the White House is exploded by fashionable terrorists. And I also like This Is the End with all the guys from all the I can't remember any of their names right now.
It was more of a comedy.
Yeah, but it had its the thing about it was that it did have its humor part, but it just didn't ignore the fact that this giant apocalypse was happening everywhere.
Yeah. It was one of the biggest CGI cocks I've ever seen as well.
You haven't seen my CGI comic.
I'm sure it's amazing.
Amazoids, I think it was said.
And then they bring out White House Down. At least wait a year before you rip a movie off, for fuck's sake.
I know. Well, they're both Die Hard in the White House.
Yeah.
But I would say if I had to choose one of them, I would take both of them and squish them together and make one movie.
How do you feel about this Arnold Schwarzenegger The Last Stand or Bullet to the Head by Sylvester Stallone?
Bullet to the Head. Well, I will say Last Stand was an interesting movie because it was directed by a Japanese action director, and definitely his strange sensibilities kicked in with that. So, but yeah, and I also liked. If we're going down the list of them, I also liked World War Z. I watched that the other day.
Yeah!
See, I thought that was pretty good.
Anybody against World War Z?
See, I win.
I thought compared to Romero, I just didn't think if you're gonna do a well-trodden genre, at least put a modern twist on it. What was it about the movie?
Well, they kind of made it because they tried to make it this global thing. Because all the movies are always about some little pocket of humanity, so they can make this $20 movie, and so they can do it on budgets. And they think, oh, we're waiting and outside's the ending of the world, so they can do. But this one took it on like a big, just giant world, like going from country to going to Israel. I'm going to go to Germany. I'm going to go here, and then then the whole thing where the zombies reacted to sound and all that. I thought it was interesting in the way they would swarm. I mean, the CGI, it's CGI, but So
you want to give your best and worst of the season?
I would say the best would definitely be Star Trek Into Darkness. Fuck you, fans, for voting it the worst one ever. Excuse me, Star Trek V.
You can't please nerds.
You can't. No, ever, never, never. And I haven't seen it, but I would give the worst of the year to After Earth because it's by that Shyamalan Ding Dong guy, and he has not made a decent film since The Sixth Sense, and who knows if that one plays good today. So poor guy. Just go home and play with all your millions.
I'm gonna give the best to Olympus Has Fallen.
Oh, Rocket.
I thought it was kind of I would say
it was nice and gory too.
Yeah. I thought it was action packed and it had a little bit of everything, and it was a surprise. I kind of watched it as a DVD. I'm like, what's this rubbish? Right. And it was
pretty good.
Sort of came out of left field. Also the Wolverine, the Australian.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, there we go.
Hugh Jackman.
Jackman.
We both love Hugh Jackman for different reasons.
Yeah.
He would shake his hand, and I would shake something completely different.
And I'm going to give the wooden spoon, which means the worst, definitely to Red 2.
What?
Oh.
That sucked. It's a bunch of has-beens trying to relive the glory days.
Well, they're cashing a check, I think is what it's called.
Yeah,
but
there is a lot of people cashing in on their cachet.
Yeah, I hated Red 1, so I decided shame on me if I saw it a second.
Yeah, shame on you, shame
Both
on me.
a couple of ageist fucks.
No, not at all. Not at all. If I was a straight guy, I would totally have sex with Helen Mirren. She's awesome.
I would.
But I would not with John Malkovich.
Not John Malkovich. All right, so do you know what we're going to be reviewing in the next?
I don't know. We're going to try to do some more indie stuff to cover the world of good cinema, and then we'll be back to review some more atrocities of giant Hollywood over birth or whatever you want to call it.
Afterbirth.
Whatever. Something. But we paid for these movies ourselves, so these are our opinions, and we hope you will heed them.
Even if they are slightly prejudiced.
So anyway, I'm DJ Dank.
I'm Andrew Roberts.
This has been Film Feud. Thank you very much.